There's a motion at the desk. The clerk will report the motion.
Pursuant to Article 4, Section 19 of the Constitution of the State of Minnesota, NISCA moves that the rule therein be suspended and an urgency be declared, and that the rules of the House be so far suspended so that House File Number 18 be given its second and third readings and be placed upon its final passage.
I recognize Representative Niska to explain the motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. Representative Koznick, sorry for leading you astray on the last bill, and thank you, Representative Lee, for correcting that. This one is the general obligation bond bill, but I urge members to support the motion so we can take it up and get it passed and get our work done.
I recognize the member from Hennepin, Representative Long.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I urge member support so long as Representative Koznick doesn't read the bill.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion prevails. The clerk will give the bill a second reading.
Second reading, House File Number 18.
Second reading. The clerk will report the bill.
House File Number 18, an act relating to capital investments.
I recognize the author from Hennepin, the author of the bill, Representative Lee, to explain the bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. So this is the GO bill, and so just wanted to quickly just give a highlight of the bill for all of us. You know, both bills this year was a product of bipartisan compromise, something that's always been the case for successful bonding bills in the past. This bill is no exception, investing in communities and projects throughout the state of Minnesota, projects that would only become more expensive if we went another year without a bonding bill. Instead of prioritizing new or local projects, this bill takes care of the state's existing infrastructure, ensure our colleges, campuses, state and regional parks, libraries, and other public facilities do not fall into despair. Some just notable highlights, just want to highlight the investment that we make into housing. This year we have significant dollars into public housing rehabilitation. We have $3 million for the Greater Minnesota Manufacturer Housing Program. Parks and trees, we have some significant investment into the DNR for asset preservation that's across the entire state of Minnesota. And then we have investment into reforestation that's, I know it's important for my colleagues on the other side. And then we also have some funding in here for tree plantings for our side of the aisle. And then for mental health, we have significant funding in there for health and well-being. And I think Vice Chair Frederick will be talking to that piece a little bit after this. And so just wanted to say thank you all to our members for the work this year as we move forward and urge your support. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
There's an amendment at the desk. The clerk will report the amendment.
Torkelson moves to amend House File Number 18. The amendment is coded A2.
I recognize the member from Brown, Representative Torkelson, to explain the amendment.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is a similar amendment to the Lee amendment to the cash bill. It'll make a couple of projects much more easily completed, one in Alexandria and another one in Redwood Falls. I urge a green vote on the amendment.
Discussion to the amendment. I recognize Representative Lee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. So this amendment exempt the two projects from the B3 requirements. And I know that, for our side of the aisle, B3 is really important, but for these projects to really move forward, I think that we should support the amendment, and I am supportive of the amendments. And so, member, encourage a green vote on the amendment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of the amendment say aye. Those opposed say nay. The motion prevails and the amendment is adopted. There are no further amendments at the desk. The clerk will give the bill its third reading.
Third reading, House File Number 18, as amended.
Third reading. Discussion to the bill. I recognize a member from Blue Earth, Representative Frederick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to thank Chair Lee and Chair Franson. It's been the position of the House the entire time in these negotiations to make sure funding for the Miller Building at the Anoka Metro Regional Treatment Center has been included. It's been a bit of a dance in that $55 million is in the bonding bill, but $20 million is in the Human Services bill, along with the operating adjustment starting in 2029. For those that aren't familiar or maybe don't serve on the Human Services Committee, people that are civilly committed in our states, they end up going to either St. Peter or Anoka, but they're out of beds. And what does that mean? It means that people are sitting in jails, they're sitting in hospitals for weeks and weeks, perhaps months on months, without being able to go to a facility to get the needs, to get the treatment that they need and deserve. So what this does is it will demo a building at Anoka and build it so we will increase our safety net, right? Because Anoka and St. Peter is the end of the road, right? And so we are expanding our safety net in the state of Minnesota, and with the goal of getting everyone out of our jails, which is a priority for our county, for every county sheriff across the state. It's a priority for every county attorney across the state, and this will achieve that goal, and I urge member support. Thank you.
I recognize the member from Dakota, Representative Koznick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Line 1.1, a bill for an act relating to capital investment authorizing spending to acquire and better public lands. And that's all I'm going to read because that's all you need to know. This is a good bill that is helps better public land and buildings for the state of Minnesota and doing the maintenance work and programs that we need to do across the state. And so, members, I do urge your green vote for this bill, and I thank the committee and our staff, especially Chelsea Axelson and Joe Marble and the nonpartisan Karina, as well as the DFL staff, and I appreciate the work that I got to see firsthand with the Senate, DFL, and GOP, and was proud to do the work, and also the rest of the committee, so please vote green.
Any further discussion to the bill? I recognize the author, Representative Lee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, members. To close off, I just want to say thank you to our nonpartisan staff, Chelsea Griffin, who's here, Andy Lee, I think he's here in the back alcove, and then Jeff Case from the Revisor's Office. And then just to the partisan staff from the GOP side, thank you to Karina Nelson, who is my seatmate in the committee room, the CLA for Chair Franzen, Chelsea Axelson, who's the GOP researcher, and then Joe Marbles, who is the GOP committee administrator. And then on our side, Tenzin Sayang, my committee legislative assistant, Evelyn Weiner, who is our DFL researcher, and then our invaluable committee administrator, Jenny Nash. To members of the committee, I really want to say thank you for all of your work this session in hearing the numerous bills that we have from members and from the different communities from across the entire state of Minnesota as they came forward. Just want to say thank you to both Vice Chair Fogelman and Vice Chair Frederick for stepping in to help support Chair Franzen and myself when we were not able to be there or we were attending to other engagements. So I just want to say thank you both for your work, and members really look forward to going on the bonding tours with all of you as we head into the fall. And so really just want to say thank you to Chair Franzen too, who may not be in here, but if you did not know, Chair Franzen had a rap that she had ready for floor action tonight, and unfortunately we will have to wait until the next bonding bill for us to hear her rap for us on the House floor. And so members, with that, just want to say I really urge your support for this really balanced bill that really reflect the entire needs of the state of Minnesota. Chair Koznick mentioned earlier we made significant investment into water to help our communities who are facing water issues across the entire state of Minnesota, and we made significant investment into our transportation system, whether that's highways or roads and bridges. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, vote green. Thank you.
The clerk will take the roll. The clerk will call the name of the member participating remotely.
Olson. Olson.
The clerk will close the roll. There being 116 ayes and 15 nays, the bill is passed as amended, and its title is agreed to.